Welcome to the Beyond Barriers podcast. If you're an ambitious woman who wants to advance in leadership, then this podcast is for you. This podcast is co-hosted by Nikki Barua, digital innovator, serial entrepreneur, author, and speaker, and Monica Marquez, senior corporate leader, ex-Googler, and diversity expert. From inspiring stories to cutting-edge strategies, you'll learn how to develop the skill set, mindset, and tool set to get future-ready fast and accelerate your success. I'm Monica, your host for today. And today I wanted to talk a little bit about sponsors and mentors, because I've been getting a lot of questions lately from a lot of our listeners on our podcast, as well as individuals we work with here at Beyond Barriers, about the importance of mentors and sponsors and some of the challenges around identifying mentors and sponsors and whatnot. So I thought today would be a great day to really kind of help you understand the importance of having mentors and sponsors and gaining that support and advocacy that you really, really need. And so the other piece is that career success really is one of those things that you cannot do alone, and you need to identify mentors and sponsors. And one of the most interesting things that I found, in doing research around mentors and sponsors is that women and minorities can be over-mentored and under-sponsored. And so some people didn't understand the difference between mentors and sponsors. So I'm going to dive into a little bit of that as well in our conversation today, and really also tell you some interesting statistics around mentors and sponsors and why it is important for you to pay attention to them. So first and foremost, research that has been done out there, especially by various different organizations like the Society for Training and Development, they reported that 75% of executives credit their mentors for helping them reach their current positions. So think about that. That means that having a mentor or sponsor is actually really, really important, because they're going to shape, ultimately how you move in your career. They're going to help shape you. And the other thing is really being able to gain the advocacy and support of those people is important, but sometimes you have to earn that. So the important thing is that mentors can happen naturally, organically, but sponsorship is something that can be earned. You can't just go out there and tap somebody and say, hey, sponsor me. And I'm going to explain some of those really important distinctions and why that is such. The other important thing is that was really startling for me is that even though everybody says that it's important to have mentors or sponsors, when the research was done by a recent university, they found that 25% of employees, or only 25 to 35% of employees claimed that they actually did have mentors and sponsors, and the rest did not. So I was a bit confused in reading that, because so many people know how important it is. So really think about how being able to navigate the corporate culture and really being able to accelerate in your success can't be done alone. So you have to ask yourself, you can't just go to any mentor. You have to really identify the right mentors. And you have to actually do some self-assessment on yourself of what is it that you need to learn? What are the competencies and skill sets that you need in order to get ahead? And then go out and identify who those mentors and sponsors are. So you can't just reach out to any random person. You have to be strategic, and you really have to do your own homework and find out what is it that you have a developmental need in order to move ahead, and then being strategic and finding those people. So you have a wide open opportunity to find and tap different people. You can't just use one mentor. You need multiple mentors. So some people may call it a board of advisors or board of directors for your career. And that's what you really need to do. But here's the one thing. People mistake that mentors are the only thing or the only type of assistance or resource or support that they need. But really, research has shown that if you want to get ahead and move up in your career, you need a sponsor. And sponsors are very different than mentors. mentors can be anybody. Mentors can be people who have done the job before, have had the experience, and can be peer level mentors, junior mentors, and they can be someone who is a few steps ahead of you. Sponsors, on the other hand, are a little different, and you have to earn them. And sponsors are really the ticket to moving ahead. And this has been really studied by the Center of Talent and Innovation and Sylvia Ann Hewlett, where she said that the critical need is for sponsors. And sponsors tend to work at the same organization as individuals, but those individuals, rather than being a mentor-mentee, sponsors have proteges. And they really then start advocating for their proteges, helping them earn raises, promotions, and really help them set them up for success. So sponsors are someone who are influential. They have some power and decision-making power as well. And they use their connections to advance their proteges throughout the organization and really endorse and also guide them. So as you can see, sponsors have to put some skin in the game. So there's a bit of a risk. They're putting their neck out there for you. So sponsorships aren't something that you can just go tap somebody and say, hey, do me a favor. You have to earn sponsorship. And so sponsorship really, at the end of the day, comes down to performance and being visible and making sure individuals in places of power or influence know who you are and know what you're doing. Well, the only way to make sure that you are performing at a high level in order to gain a sponsor, then that's where you leverage all your mentors. So that's why sometimes having a sponsor is more important than mentors, but you almost can't gain a sponsor unless you tap into a network of mentors that help you perform very well and gain all of the knowledge that you need to navigate and become visible. Make sense? But here's the downside, is that I get questions all the time from the women that we are coaching, or that individuals that listen to the podcast, or individuals that used to work with me, of wanting to identify mentors that, look like them and who, can help them out. And that is where sometimes I feel like you are limiting yourself, because unfortunately, in a lot of organizations, being a female or being a person of color, you're in the minority. And there are even fewer individuals at that upper level that can actually advise and mentor you. And so if you're only looking for someone that looks like you, you're going to miss out on huge opportunities of advancing in your career, or you're going to slow yourself down. And so at the end of the day, I always advise individuals to identify who is successful in the organization. What does success look like? What is that role, or what is that, future aspiration of yours that you want to be? And go and identify that person, and then create a relationship, a mentoring relationship that could eventually turn into a sponsorship, or being able to, cast a broader net of individuals who can help you. So that's the one thing I want to really press upon, because in my career, I can honestly say that I had many, many mentors that did not look like me, who were the ones who opened the door for me from the get-go. And yes, it is important to identify mentors that do look like you, because there is some level of understanding some of the nuances and challenge that you face from a cultural perspective. But you can't dismiss the fact that individuals who have been successful in the organizations are the best people to learn from. So that's why you need to make sure that you are being proactive yourself, and you are taking accountability for who you are identifying to be mentors. So you don't have to allow that those unconscious biases hold you back. And the other thing is that we naturally, as people, will gravitate to people who look like us. And so another interesting statistic was that the research that was done around mentors is that most people, it was 89% in males and 69% in women, it had a natural affinity to same-sex mentorships. So that is another barrier that you have to take control and break down that barrier by being proactive and asking for people to be mentors to you who do not look like you. Otherwise, if we allow it organically to happen, you may not, get the type of mentorship or the strategic type of mentorship that you need and are looking for. So you need to make sure that you are, again, being proactive, being accountable, and you are seeking out the correct and the right mentorships for you.
What if you could pinpoint the invisible ceilings limiting your success? Imagine having clarity on your strengths and barriers so you can take action and gain unstoppable momentum to advance as a future-ready leader. Well, that's exactly what the Beyond Barriers quiz will help you discover. You'll get your personalized score based on the 25 essential elements proven to accelerate success in the digital age, so you can understand what's holding you back and where to focus your efforts. The Beyond Barriers quiz is completely free and takes just a few minutes. Go to IamBeyondBarriers.com/quiz and take the quiz today.
So you might be saying, okay, great, but how do I get to the next level? And what do you mean by being proactive and strategic? Well, what I mean is that you have to make sure to first understand, what are your mentoring needs? What is it that you need to learn? And who do you need to earn sponsorship from? And then you have to go out there and find mentors that match that need. You can't just, randomly pick somebody if you don't know exactly what you want them to help you with. So you want to make sure that, in these mentoring relationships, they tend to naturally be informal and you might organically create them. Well, you need to be a little bit more proactive and put some structure around your mentorships and really think about, what do you want to gain in your career or, in the next 3 to 6 months? Is there a promotion that you're looking for? Is it a specific skill that you're looking to gain or to harness? And then go out there and identify that mentor or that individual who can help you for those 3 to 6 months, right? Because unfortunately, sometimes we look at mentorships and we don't put an end date, and they kind of fizzle out and they aren't very useful or resourceful. But if you know what you're looking for and you can go ask somebody for specific help in a specific area, then they're more likely to, be excited to help you in that one particular area. And you can put a start date and an end date saying, okay, I have a 3 to 6 month goal, and these individuals can help me get there. And each mentor can help you in a different way. Maybe one particular mentor helps you with the, particular skill set. Another mentor can help you gain access to someone who you're hoping to become a sponsor. Those types of things. Being very particular on what it is that you need to do. And so again, you need to first ask yourself, what are your professional goals? What do you want to learn? Where do you want to be, and who can help you get there? But then also think about your personal goals too, because we often underestimate the power of mentorship and personal development. And personal development and professional development can go hand in hand sometimes. And so there may be other things that you're looking to gain that are maybe softer skills in your personal life that a mentor can help you with. It may not just be a specific skill or, a hard technical skill that you need to learn, but maybe it's more around, building relationships or shifting your mindset to be much more confident, etc. So I want you to take a piece of paper or open up an Excel spreadsheet and create a spreadsheet that has your short-term, your long-term goals around those growth areas from a personal, professional perspective. And then start putting down names of individuals that you could reach out to that can help you in the short term and the long term, and being very targeted in what you're going to ask them to help you with. And then once you identify that, then you need to think about, where are you going to find these individuals? So like I mentioned before, mentors are everywhere. They can be in your organization, outside of your organization, within the industry that you're looking for. But just go out there and really start thinking about, where can you find these individuals? And they may be within your organization in this current period where we may not be going in person to a lot of, networking events or conferences. But you are virtually. So pay attention to who's joining some of these virtual conferences that you have been attending, or start paying attention to people that you are, where you are joining live meetings, and start paying particular attention to people who have a really strong presence and are coming across and are impressive to you, and start identifying what it is that you could learn from them that'll help you get ahead. And then thinking about how do you then maybe even start looking in, social media or special interest groups, or going to particular, paying attention on LinkedIn, who's commenting about things that are important in your industry, or for you to get ahead in your career, and start following them, and then hopefully making a connection. So remember, create a long list of possible mentors based on your search, and then map them against those growth needs that you've identified for your own personal and professional development. And then you can confidently then go out with an ask and really be able to help them understand where you need help. And before you know it, you're going to have a wonderful, diverse group of mentors and sponsors that'll help you get ahead. But remember, we can't do this alone. That's the worst and the longest way you can do it, is trying to figure it out on your own. You should leverage people who've been there and cut the time in half. Learn from them so that you can excel and accelerate your success in your career. So I hope that's helpful. And by all means, reach out to me, and happy to help you in any form or fashion so that you can get ahead in your career. Thanks for joining us, and we will see you next time.
Thank you for listening to the Beyond Barriers podcast. There are thousands of podcasts out there, and we are so grateful that you've chosen to listen to ours. If you enjoyed the show, please leave us a rating and tell a friend about it. And subscribe to get new episodes every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Visit IamBeyondBarriers.com, where you'll find show notes, links, and the best way to connect with our guests. See you next episode.